Okay, this is going to be part 2 for today's video review for Thursday, July 23rd, 2015 for Drummond Energy Bands. Please read our trading disclaimer. What we're going to be looking at is a very simple concept. We're using the right chart, which is our trade chart, to enter the market. And the only time that we're going to enter longs is with a green brick. For example, the right chart, the arrow is pointing to this close right here. That's a green brick. That would be a long. If we wanted to take a short, we would look for a red brick. So that's how we enter the market. We get in at the we enter at the market. Now, when we turn our attention over to the left chart, we could see that the market is coming down. It's not coming down into a valley. Our valley is drawn down here. The valley is actually from yesterday, and the trader would know this if they were coming in. However, if they didn't, they wanted to use the energy band that is developing organically in the market. This is what a power mid trade looks like. Well, the only way that we can be sure that the energy is actually going to reverse is when it's weak. And weakness is when the dots are pushing down red, but they're staying above this solid white line. So that is considered to be weak. And we know it's weak when the bar flips green under that condition into a known valley of support. This is our valley of support. So this is all taking place for this left chart energy lean that we have. We don't know where this is going to hold. We don't just go in and buy it at the market and hope one level holds. What we do is we look at our trade chart and we wait for this condition to present itself. So that's how we would look at getting long at that point. There's many ways to manage this. I'm not going to get into all those different ways, but as you can see, if you wanted to stay long until it went from green to red, that's probably what you could take. So now we're going to look at this other point right here. This is into a valley here at about 46.14. Now, I haven't drawn it here because have a look at our dots on the trade chart. These dots are all very strong, right? Because they're below our solid white line right here. So we don't have weak energy to buy that with. In fact, it hits the lean of support and boom, quickly reverses into what is known as a V reversal. What we would be looking for as a very conservative trader is we're waiting for price to return back and pull back into this valley under the same condition that we just looked at. No trade. Now we're going to look at this point here on our left chart. Right here, excuse me, I have a little trouble with the mouse, and this is actually a short that we would be looking for. So essentially, as we're looking for this short up in this area, you'll look at our trade chart on the right. All of the dots are very strong. They pull back and they push up across our white solid line. This is very strong. So, you know, as we're looking at this lean here, do we want to take that short? Well, it's up to you, right? But if we're looking at a trade plan, we're waiting for our dots to get below the midline for a specific lean, then that's really the key that we want to be shooting for. So I want to talk about this point right here. You'll notice that we've got a level of support here at about 46.16.5. You see where it shows up on our trade chart. You notice the dots coming down into this level are very strong. We're not looking to buy that. And as price goes up higher, look what takes place. Turning our attention to the right trade chart, you'll notice that we put in a crest, pulls back, challenge of the crest under weak dots, very weak dots. And on that red bar, we could elect short, you know. And this is actually two levels of resistance, very strong resistance that we teach in the Masters of the Universe course called our mids from two different charts. We call our double mid push. Do you think that you could manage the trade coming down using the upper yellow, at least down to maybe this big magenta dashed line as a flag that potentially may be a good place to get out? We're going to look at this down pink arrow here on the left chart, shown here on the right chart. You'll notice though, as price goes higher, look at our dots. They're very strong. They're pushing up, and then all of a sudden, boom. The market, like a plane going straight up, reverses. Now, that is not weak energy. So that is not a trade. that a trader with a trade plan looking for weak energy into crests is going to be taking. Okay, so price now drops down to this up green arrow. We got a valley there. We're looking to buy it. But our trader, he's looking for weak energy. See our dots? They're way below the solid white line. You can't just buy that because it's still very strong. Even though there's a green bar to get long with, it's not in the trade plan. So the trade didn't exist for that trader. Now here on our left chart, price runs up into what we call our upper yellow on our focus frame. This is typically a great place to be taking a short if our trade chart puts in a crest, which it does, and you'll notice that as it challenges up, the dots hold at the solid white line. That is weakness. On that challenge to the crest on the red bar there, our trader's short. He gets a little bit, and he stays down to, let's just say that this purple line here is probably a good spot since it's kind of glaring at us. It also happens to be the same green valley that's here on our left chart for 46.12. So you'll notice the dots, they actually move up to the solid white line and they drop down a little bit. So it's getting weak. It's not 100% weak, but you'll notice the dot here on this green bar. It's pretty weak and it's starting to hook up. Our trader could get long. Managing the lower yellow here, see how our bricks went sideways? That's called brick momentum. Getting long out of there, maybe up to, this white dotted line would be a good place to exit. Market rallies up to this point about here on our left chart. You'll notice that it's a challenge to this crest that's put in, but our dots look a little strong, don't they? They're above the solid white line, even though the line's going flat. It's probably not a great time to be selling it. So if you remember in part 1, we were talking about how this yellow with a trend pushing straight down's job is to continue to push the trend down, but it's not. And the lower yellow is starting to hold a support. Well, from the short we just discussed that we would not take, you'll notice we're coming down into this valley here at about 46.15, where we actually do put in a valley here on our trade chart. So we're actually thinking maybe we're going to take a trade if we can get a challenge into the valley and the dots are weak, which they are. They're way above the solid white line. On the green bar, we're long. And the market takes off. And the lower yellow, if managed, can maintain the trader for quite a while, I'd say. In the Masters of the Universe course, we teach that the bricks going sideways to up in the lower yellow means lower yellow is still up. Stay long if you're long. Here you can see in this lower yellow that they're not. It is down. Our trader's pretty disciplined. He actually looks for weak dots, and you'll notice that the crest here on our right chart that gets put in, the dots are strong. He's not looking to short it. The dots are strong. He's not looking to short it. So he doesn't get any of that trade. Green up arrow on the left, lower yellow. This is supposed to be a strong block for a strong trend. Is it going to push higher? Well, if a valley holds on the trade chart here, you notice the dots are actually right at the valley. Actually break below and then hook up. Trader could take a long there if they wanted. This is weak dots. Market rallies up into this point up here where the down pink arrow is. We're looking for a crest to hold. There's the crest. And do you see weak dots? I do. That would be a short on that red bar right there. And that's going to wrap up today. Thank you very much for listening, and you have a great trading day.